Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Nova, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
And I'm Steven.
Hello, gentlemen. Hey, Steven, it's been a little while. I'm going to ask you later on about your thoughts on Man-Thing. That's the most recent episode. But you don't have to answer right now. I'm just giving you the heads up. But hey, how are the two of you doing? How are you doing today, Brad?
I'm doing okay.
How about you, Steven? How are you doing?
Made it home yesterday. Ooh.
That's good to hear. I'm glad. It was quite a drive that you had ahead of you, and late at night.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. For those of you listening, we had a tournament yesterday at South Charleston, and we had several people make the drive down. Stephen, Cody, and a listener named Don who drove all the way from Maryland. So I appreciate y'all coming down. It made a good tournament.
It was a good tournament.
We will discuss that very shortly. But before we do, let's talk about the upcoming tournaments that are on the calendar ahead of us. Okay, so the only one that I'm currently aware of is on January the 18th, and that is the BECC qualifier at Lost Legion Games and Comics. Let's turn this one out. Let's get as many people as we can.
I think we
for
have
this one.
I think we have 13 signed up right now. So there's only 3 slots left to get the special tactics cards that I am getting printed that haven't arrived yet. I think there's 16 of them.
Okay. For those of you who haven't heard, Brad is giving out special tactics cards, including real versions of, what are they called? Instant Recovery and the New Deception, which I forget what it's called.
Stolen Identity.
Stolen Identity.
And those have the AMG art, and then all the other ones have art I picked out, and they are mostly cards that got recently errated.
And Survival.
Yeah, you also get Survival, Indomitable, and one other that...
cards that are in rare packs, that are in, that are tougher to track down. We all appreciate it, Brad. This will be some good swag. Okay, well, we have a tournament to discuss.
It was
Fallback. Okay.
Yeah.
We have a tournament to talk about. So there were 6 people attending, and we went for 3 rounds. So it was a pretty good little tournament that we had going on. How do we want to break this up? All right, I'll begin. My first round opponent was Cody from the Cleveland area. I was playing Web Warriors, and Cody was playing Cabal. Our game was 19 Threat, played on Paranoia and Intrusions, and I hate Intrusions. It never is good for me, but it kind of worked out for me in this game. So he had priority, so he got to pick his secures, because I would have picked my secures because of Intrusions. And, of course, that's the one I pull. I hate Intrusions so much as Web Warriors. So my 19 were my normal 9, which is Miles, Black Cat, and Spectacular Spider-Man. And then I had Namor, who I have recently taken the Time Stone off of. And then Wong and another 3, who is probably Ghost Spider. I'm pretty sure it's Ghost Spider. So it was a pretty good game. Cody was playing Cabal with Red Skull 1, as well as Baron Mordo. He had Thor, the new Thor, and the what's his name? Beta Ray Bill. How did I forget Beta Ray Bill's name? Anyway, the way this game played out, Cody played hard for the middle because His plan was to take Beta Ray Bill and Thor and have them do brothers in arms and kill everything. So I did not let him do that. I did not give him a good target. I kept Thor staggered the entire game using both Black Cat and Namor. They would run in and stagger him, and then at the first opportunity, run away again. And it was very effective. I pulled ahead pretty early on scenario points, and I stayed ahead. He did put up quite a good fight. Baron Mordo did so much work in this game that it was disgusting. Especially, like, Mystic Attacks are great into me. And he had the ability to give me Incinerate and Poison and then spread it around. That was devastating. Not Poison, Hex. Incinerate and Hex, and, like, give it to multiple people. I forget exactly the way the Baron Mordo works, but it was gross to play against. And this game ended 18-16. It was very close. But that was my first round. I pulled out the win. So, yeah, it was a very, very close game. All right. I believe that the first round for Steven and Brad was Steven versus Brad. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Who would like to speak on this one?
Brad.
Okay. So I was playing New Mutants, and
Yeah. I was playing Spider Foes.
yes, and yours was fully affiliated, right?
Yeah, my whole list had no splashes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And we ended up on 19. Mutant Extremist, which was mine, and Mutant Madman was yours, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. And the first and second turn of this game, we tied. I think we scored 4, and then we scored 5. So we're tied at 9 at the end of round 2. I was playing Hulk in my list with Magic, of course. That's 9, so I need 10 more points.
Warlock, Shadowcat, and Sunspot.
Okay, Warlock, Shadowcat, and Sunspot.
I have it all written down.
Okay. I did not do that.
I didn't either.
What were you playing, Steven?
I was playing Green Goblin and only Green Goblin as a leader. I was playing 3-threat Dr. Octopus, Lizard, Shocker, Vulture, and Craven. Do you remember what your tactics cards were? Because I didn't. I'm sorry.
I played I played New Mutants, my leadership. I played the reroll any card. I played the give the power to my other New Mutants when my model gets dazed card. I played Brace and maybe Recalibration Matrix.
Yeah. I had Sinister Trap, Well-Laid Plans, Rejuvenation, Custom Upgrades, and Surprise Webhead.
Steven caught on to my stolen tech at the beginning of the game. I moved 2 of my models up. It was Warlock and Magic to grab Senators and left them within 3 of Hulk. And he went up and he was like, I'm going to attack Warlock. And then he went, no, I'm not, because you're going to teleport Hulk. And so I did not get to do that on the first turn. I did end up teleporting Hulk at one point. I also made a little mistake with him where I picked up a Senator and I should have moved first. And then I would have got to throw something, and then Hulk was just kind of stuck where he was at. Hulk beat up Lizard and didn't do much else in the game, unfortunately. He just beat up Lizard a lot, which was unfortunate.
Yeah, that for me that was a good trade. So
Yeah,
Absolutely. That's what Lizard's there for, to draw the big hitters and tie them up for as long as possible.
Yeah, but Brad gave me compliments for a good play on my well laid plans.
Yeah, the well-laid
Oh yeah.
plans was devastating. It did so much damage, and I think four of my characters had things, and I dropped three of them, or I dropped 4 out of 5. I don't remember. It was something like that.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
it
is some
was
well
it
laid
was
plans
rough,
there.
and one of the characters took 3 damage. Like it was rough. It was rough.
Yeah, yeah. Sinister Traps was didn't go off as planned, but it did a little bit.
Yeah, Hulk got to trigger that, so it wasn't too bad.
Right, exactly. It did only 3 damage, which was perfect because
Yeah,
it didn't get you to 4. So,
that's all right.
and Vulture got to toss Hulk around a little bit. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, Hulk's so mobile that I don't think that matters that much. Um, but the so that was turn 1 and 2 that we tied. On 3, I think Steven outscored me by a point, and then round 4, he got like most of the points on the field, and I got nothing.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that
because
he had dazed your entire team or KO'd your entire team,
Yeah,
from what I had seen.
yeah,
except for Hulk, Hulk was still
yeah.
there.
Hulk was fine. It was rough.
I ignored him most of the game. So yeah,
Well
we
done,
we
Stephen.
yeah we came out 21-13 as the final score.
Yeah, Steven came to our tournament and decided to show me how to actually play spider foes. He came with a very good spider foes list and did quite well in this tournament.
Oh,
So,
but but, but Green.
congratulations on. Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
no, thank you. But Green Goblin, his leadership is just a little bit sneaky. It's like re-roll a die, a defense die, and it's just one of those things. If you take enough damage from an attack that you'll be alive on one, it's just that it's a it's a pretty good chance you might not be alive. So
Because on a defense reroll, it's only 3 out of 8 faces. It's a less than 50% chance they roll into a success.
correct, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well done on that win, Stephen.
Thank you, sir.
Let's move on to round 2. So my round 2 opponent was Don, the gentleman who drove down from Maryland. I spoke with Don before the tournament, and he has a philosophy that I really liked. He used to play very competitively for MCP, but he found that he would lose and it would make him feel really bad. And so instead of playing like a super competitive, well-toned list, he brought Sentinels, and he's playing a way that he likes with models that he likes to play, which I appreciate. I think that's a good way to play this game. You know, that's a healthier way to play than like going in extremely power hungry power gamer. So his list, he was playing Sentinels, which is already suboptimal. They are not in a very good place in the meta right now. And the list that he played into me was Hulkbuster. It was Sentinel Prime. It was one Sentinel Mark II, or Mark IV, sorry, and War Machine. Which, if you're paying close attention, means that he wasn't even affiliated. He was just playing Stompy Robots, which is what he wanted to play. Sorry, we were playing on Montesi Formula and on Cosmic Invasion at a threat value of 18. So that is my secure and his extract, because he was trying to avoid getting on senators, which is one of my extracts. Uh, so my list at 18 points was Namor. It was my core three, which is Miles, Black Cat, and Spectacular Spider-Man, and that puts me at 15. No, that puts me at 14, sorry. And then I brought Spider-Woman, and Spider-Woman did great this game. She did the Lord's work. I mostly just avoided conflict. I ran around. I think I dazed one of his Mark IVs and Sentinel Prime, and that's it for the models that I dazed. And he KO'd Namor and Spectacular Spider-Man over the course of this game. And he was starting to get ahead on attrition, but I was stealing all of the points. I think I scored all three of the Montesies for 2 rounds, and I scored 2 out of 4 of the Secures most rounds. So I pulled pretty far ahead on scenario points, and that's just how I was able to win on scenario before he won on attrition, which is exactly what my list is built to do. So that the final score was 17 points to 7, although that easily could have been had things shaken out a little bit differently. I scored a lot of points the last round of the game. If he had dazed Miles Morales, which was possible, he could have gotten a lot more points out of that. All right, so Don, it was a great game. Thank you for coming down and playing against me. That was my round 2. Brad, why don't you talk about your round 2?
I played Cody. Last time I played Cody was at Recess Games in Cleveland, and he kicked my butt. So I was ready to get some revenge. He was playing, as I think Fred mentioned, a lot of big guys. And so against me, he played Beta Ray Bill and Thor, but those were splashes. He played Red Skull 1, Hood, and Baron Zemo, maybe?
Possibly?
No, Baron Mordo. It was Baron Mordo.
Okay.
It's Baron Mordo, Hood, and Red Skull were his aligned characters. It was 20 threat. We played Mutant Extremists and Superpowered Scoundrels, which is a lot of points, which I was very happy to see because I knew he was going to try to smack my face. I played very wide. So I played Bishop Magic, X-23, Warlock, Sunspot. Am I at 20 points yet? I think I'm missing a 3-pointer.
Shadowcat?
It was Shadowcat. Yeah, it was Shadowcat. So my whole goal for this was to go wide and get as many points as quickly as possible before he killed me. And Thor was doing a very good job of killing me. I think the first turn was like 5-4. And the second turn, I scored like, I think it had to have been 5 again because I was at 10. And he scored like 1 or 2. And then the last round, I was like holding on, and I was pretty sure I was getting 5 points and would need 1 more point to win. And I was hoping in that 4th turn that I was going to have a model that wasn't dazed or KO'd to score me a point. Like, that was my hope. And I ended up scoring 6 points, and I just can't count. So I won the game at the end of turn 3. I had set up for him to take out Sunspot and do damage to everybody. And that worked out for me. That got Beta Ray Bill dazed. I had Thor down to 2 health left at one point, and Beta Ray Bill still had 1 at that point, and he had initiative, and he went with Hood, who was transformed, and I was like confused because I was like, maybe I can take out Thor and Bill on my activation, and then he did the big spender to flip Hood back and then healed Thor. So I actually failed to take out Thor, and Thor did some nasty work on, I think, Magic. But I was basically anywhere Thor was, I ran away from and got other points. And Kitty Pryde beat up Red Skull pretty bad. The end of the game, okay, this was cool. So I had Warlock and X-23 left, and he had, I think, just Baron Mordo. So I went with Warlock, and I went over and grabbed a Senator or something. And then he was really thinking about what to do, and he ends up moving Baron Mordo to the middle point. So he had 2 injured characters on the middle point, Hood and Baron Mordo, and I had X-23 who was injured left. And he threw Mystic Attack at X-23, and she survived it. I don't remember. I might have played the instant recovery card when he attacked me. I don't remember if I did or not. And then she had to move, grab a Senator. Then I did my spender, took out Hood, paid for Frenzy, took out Mordo, was sitting on that middle point for the win.
Nice.
Yeah, so she took out 2 models. They had no damage on them. That's not true. I think Hood had a damage or 2 on them. But it took out those 2 models. But they have terrible physical defense. So,
Right.
but that play won me the game.
That was, you were talking the other day about thinking X-23 was a little bit mid now.
She is.
She did the Lord's work, it sounds like, in that game.
Well, yeah, she went into 2 targets she is great against and got them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, her Mystic defense, it's terrible. So the game ended up 16-8, but like I said, it was way closer than that, because if we had gone another round, I was hoping and praying that I had a model still standing to score points at the end of that.
Right. All right. Well, good game, Brad. Well done. Steven, do you want to talk about your round 2?
Sure enough. I was playing Borka, and he was playing Cabal List, and we roll for priority, he wins, and he picks his extracts. So I'm back on my secures. We draw Research Station and Mutant Madman, which, as soon as I saw Research Station, I'm like, well, I need some people that can control the center objective. So he went with and we played at 18 threat, not 15, no. Because he had Red Skull, Master of the World, Malekith, Killmonger, and Baron Zemo for this round, but I'm sure if we would have went 15, he would have done Red Skull, Master of the World, Thanos, and Baron Zemo at 15, which is very, very not good for me. I went with Green Goblin, of course, Electro, Sandman, Mysterio, and Shocker. And I had Patch Up, Sinister Traps, Grand Illusion, Surprise Webhead, and Custom Upgrades. And basically, the fight went to the middle, but luckily on Mutant Madman, the cures are just flips, so you can just leave them alone afterwards. I basically put Shocker, Sandman, and Mysterio towards the middle. Shocker to disrupt a lot of his damage coming in, obviously. Electro was on one side, Green Goblin on the other, just to flip points and then come back into the middle. Um, but he went into Shocker really, really hard, and Shocker was off the table by turn two. But that allowed my other characters to operate. Um, so I went up in the first round. I had 2 points uh, in the researcher, and so I scored 4, and he scored 1. And then the next round, it got even further away. By the third round, things were looking pretty bleak for me because he had used Usurp the Throne with Killmonger, spent his Dark Reign, and he went into Sandman and dazed him. So it takes the constructs off the board, and I've only got like Mysterio and Green Goblin to activate, and Electro. So I go with Mysterio, and um, at this time, Malekith had dazed Green Goblin, so I did a desperate play, and I went with Mysterio, and I put Mysterio on top of the researcher, and he was still healthy, and he went into Baron Zemo with his Mystic attack, and he didn't do any damage, but he rolled a blank, so he got a power, and it was enough power to play the Grand Illusion, which then I promptly put down, and that kind of changed the tide of the game because Malekith all of a sudden became not as good. And it was affecting Malekith, Zemo, and Killmonger. So
Most of his team.
Yeah. So fortunately, my team lived, but he was coming back on points a little bit. But at this time, Green Goblin's on his flip side, and I have priority, and I do custom upgrades on Green Goblin against Malekith, and Green Goblin takes out Malekith.
Nice.
At this point in time, like KO'd off the table. And then Sandman comes around, puts out a construct, one of his sand, and then he does a punch your ticket onto Killmonger and takes out Killmonger. And then Red Skull takes out Electro. Electro wakes up, does his stuff, moves forward, does his ride the wires, comes to the other side of the board to flip a point. And then everything just started kind of collapsing in. So the score at the end ended up 18-9. Anytime I play Borka, it's a really cerebral game. But I was surprised that Red Skull was the only person that was left on the board by the time I was done. And I had only lost Shocker in the whole thing. So I was expecting more stuff to get taken off the board. But
yeah, you out attritioned his attrition monster list. You did a great job in this game, it sounds like.
Well, like I said, and he agreed, and he actually pointed it out to me that the Grand Illusion was the big play.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know what the Grand Illusion is, it is. Do you want to go? Do you want to say what that card does?
Basically, Mysterio plays this card. It does cost 4 power, so it's a lot, but it is a very powerful effect. So, anytime people roll dice, they don't count their critical results, and they can't roll extra dice for it. So it's like a mega hex about, and then any of those crit results are turned into skulls.
Yeah.
For that turn, and it's even if you daze Mysterio, the card stays up, unlike some other cards because it was printed earlier. So.
Yeah, it's a really strong card. It's a great card to bring with Mysterio.
Yeah, so it's an active, so he has to do it on his turn. Oh no, he doesn't have to do it on his turn. He just has to have 4 powers as an active. So until the end of the cleanup phase, when an enemy character makes an attack, defense, or dodge roll while within 3, it does not add dice for critical results, and Mysterio changes all critical results to skull results. So it's on everything.
Great. It's great. So this sounds like one heck of a good game. Well done, Steven. Good job.
You guys came over and watched it. And
yeah,
you were,
yeah, it was. We were all watching. It really came down to you just grinding him down on attrition, and winning the game.
yeah, you're surprised. You're like, Steve's down 3 points. What's going on here?
Oh yeah. There was one point in this game where Shocker was off the table, and I just walked over, and the two crises were 15 and 18, and I was looking at everyone's list, and Borka had 18 threat of models on the table, and you only had 15, and I was talking with Dawn about it, and I was wondering if maybe there had been a miscommunication, but no, it was just that Shocker got taken off the table immediately.
Right. No, that is correct. So,
well done.
Yeah, it was an excellent game.
So as of right now in the tournament, I have 2 wins and Steven has 2 wins. So the next round is going to be me versus Steven. But before we do that, Brad, why don't you talk about your round 3?
Okay, I played against Borka round 3, and Longchange just logged me out. So we played 17
You want to know?
points. I remember that.
Yes, it was Alien Ship and Infinity Formula.
Okay. I played Magic, Sunspot, Bishop, probably Shadowcat, and it wasn't X-23.
Well, it was 17 points.
Is that everyone then?
No, you said X-23.
No,
right?
not X-23.
So Magic Warlock, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Magic Warlock Bishop.
He played Master of the World. Oh, it was X-23. X-23 and Magic were on a side together against his Bullseye. And on the other side was Sunspot and Bishop and Shadowcat versus Red Skull, Master of the World, Thanos, and Baron Zemo. So I was getting a very consistent 3 points a turn with X-23 and Magic. And X-23 also dazed Bullseye as he retreated him back to the other side of the board. Sunspot and Bishop, and with a little help from Shadowcat, but she got taken out pretty quickly. They fought Thanos and them as best that they could, but it was a losing battle. But I was hoping that those 3 auto points plus whatever those models could pick up on the other side could get me there. And I was like keeping pace to win until finally Bishop and then Sunspot died. And if nothing else happened, I win. But he ends up moving Red Skull over, one-shots X-23, so I can't play the heal card. And then that only took 1 action because he teleported and attacked. So then he moves on to the point. And I'm doing like the math, and I can't just teleport Magic over to that point, that Infinity Formula, and take out Red Skull, because then he can just move Benzemo across the board to take the point that Magic was on. So I teleport her up. I make an attack, hoping that it randomly kills Red Skull, and then I move back on the point. It doesn't, and Porco wins by 1 point. Game ends 17-16. I just can't quite get there.
You were real close this time, it
I was
sounds
so close. This is one of my best games against Thanos I've ever had. I hate Thanos. He sucks.
like. Yeah.
So
All right.
I end up
Well,
1 and 2.
Okay. Steven, the
Yes, sir.
final game of this tournament is you versus me. This is a very thematic game. It's Web Warriors versus Spider Foes. And I deviate from my normal list construction in this game because I know you're going to be bringing Green Goblin. So I did not bring Spectacular Spider-Man. I replaced him with a Moon Knight. I replaced him with Moon Knight. And you know what my thoughts on that are? Thumbs down fart sound. It was I think I would have been better off had I just brought Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay, well, our game was also Alien Ship and Infinity Formula at 17 threat. And I had priority. So that's my Infinity Formula.
It
And
would
your
have been
Alien
weird.
Ship.
It would have been weird, Fred, if you hadn't played at 17 points.
Yeah, yes, it would have been weird. You're right. Alien Ship is so bad. I hate Alien Ship. Okay, so I brought my list was Miles Morales, Black Cat, Moon Knight, Namor, and another 3. Ghost Spider. It was Ghost Spider. And do you want to go over your list?
I brought Green Goblin, Craven, Lizard, and my secret spider tech is Venom and Mysterio.
Yeah. Yes. This game basically boiled into 2 scrums, just as a lot of Infinity Formula games do. There's a one-side fight and another side fight. And I think I lose both of these fights. In the first round, I start with a safe grab from Namor. I do the safe grab and then run away like a coward. And
Like
then
a spider player.
like a spider. Yes, you're correct. Like Web Warrior. But at the end of the first round, I end up scoring 3 victory points to your 2. That is, I really needed to do better, and that is a sign of how this game goes for me. Do you want to?
Actually, Fred,
Yeah.
it was 4-3 because I had
4
one.
to 3. Okay.
Yeah, because there's 7 points on the board, sir.
You're correct. You're correct. So but oh yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But I needed to sneak another point somewhere, and I did not. I think that's the last time that I scored more points than you in a round too. I think you scored more points than me in every round after that.
Possibly.
Yeah. In round 2, I kind of start fighting a little bit, and Venom does me some damage. I think you dazed Miles Morales. I think you pulled him up and dazed him.
Because I went to
fully
attack
remember.
him. And you used Ghost Spider to pull him away, which refunded my action. So I just spent my 2 power to pull you back in.
Right. Yeah, I pull him back, and then you pull him back towards you.
And then I Venom eats him. So.
Oh yeah. And on the other side, Moon Knight does a whole lot of nothing against Lizard and Craven. You have Lizard and Craven on one side, Green Goblin, Venom, and Mysterio on the other. And I do very little on either side.
Well, I think one of your it was a beginning game thing is that Moon Knight should have gone against Mysterio and those guys.
You're absolutely correct. That was I should have put Moon Knight out later. He was, I think, the second model I put out, which was a mistake. I should have deployed him when after you had deployed Mysterio.
And I would have
Uh,
put Namor on the side with Lizard and Craven and tried to clean that up because those are long movers and they can pivot really well.
yeah, yeah, yep. I did not do well in this game. I even I fell for tricks and traps a couple times. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
and
The look in
like
your
more than
eyes.
once. More than once I fell for tricks and traps. And at multiple times alien ship triggered on Namor. I think he rolled two skulls two different times. He ends up dazing Ghost Spider with his alien ships, and he ends up KOing himself with his alien ship. So this game does not go great for me. Do you
Yeah.
want to? I've been dominating the conversation. What would you like to say about this game?
You almost got Venom. You
Right.
almost
Yeah.
got Venom.
I Venom was flipped, and Namor goes in on him and attacks him and does 5 damage. And if I had snuck that one more damage through, I would have KO'd Venom, and I would have been in a much better place. But I didn't, and then Venom.
Attack, attacks back and heals.
Yep. And then Venom on his turn eats Miles Morales. Like I think you did 5 damage in one attack.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. So no,
Yeah.
by the end, you only had Black Hat left.
Right. Yeah, I got almost completely tables.
Yeah, but in the end, I scored all 7 points in the last turn, which went because you were at 10 and I scored all the points because I was at 9, and
Mm-hmm.
then that put me at 16.
Yep. And so the game ended 16-10 in Steven's failure in Steven's favor. Uh, I will say this: you played Spider Foes wonderfully. Like it was you did it great. You did everything right.
Yeah, the hardest decision to make under Green Goblin is when you move and you attack, you always make somebody reroll that defense die, right? Just because.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But when you're attacking twice, it's hard to differentiate when you should be doing that once per turn effect. So
Right.
usually,
Right.
usually it's if you get somebody down to 1 health on the first attack, do it on that. But if you don't, save it for the second attack, obviously. So,
Right. Right. Yeah,
but
the my biggest problem with Green Goblin is I never remember. that's uh that's why you are better at Green Goblin than I am. I just can never remember his leadership.
well, and this was supposed to be my fun take to a tournament list, and I didn't expect it to do so well.
Yeah,
So,
you did great against us. You kicked everyone's butt.
but
Well done,
be that
Steven.
be that
Congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, and I like to shout out Don because he's like, yeah, I looked at the list and you have all spider foes. I'm like, yeah. He goes, much respect for that. So,
Uh-huh. Yeah, you were 100% affiliated. Nicely done.
yep.
All right, so that was our tournament. It was a very good time. I want to say thanks again to Don, to Cody, and to Steven for coming down and playing with us. It was a real good time, and I hope to see as many as possible of you at on January the 18th at our BECC tournament.
Fred, what's the opposite
Yep.
of a shout out?
A put down.
Okay, a
I,
put down out to Brandon who didn't bother showing up for the tournament.
Brandon had other responsibilities he had to take care of. He had to work, unfortunately. All right, well, let us move on. We've been speaking a lot about games that we have played recently. Steven, what are your thoughts on Man Thing?
My thoughts on Man Thing. Honestly, I like his kit because it's so different, but I don't know how that difference is going to translate on the table. There are some
Okay.
familiar things with him, like the healing factor and all that good stuff. But the jury's out. I'll have to get. I want to get him on the table and see what's happening with him. Um,
Okay.
just one of those things. If you have a character that has a lot of the powers that other characters have, like when Gwenom and Scarlet Spider came out, those kits were kind of easy to figure out because those powers were on other characters. They were just kind of jumbled up in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Man Thing is just totally different. He's going to have a play style that needs figured out just yet.
He seems. We were very high on him. The rest of us here on the cast. So, uh, are you willing to toss out a letter grade for him, or do you want to just hold off until you've had more time to mull it over?
Well, for the moment, I'll give him a C plus,
Oh,
just because I
oh,
just just because I don't know what I don't know.
okay,
You know what
okay.
I mean?
Yep, that's fair. All right. Well, okay. Let's move on to Brad's trivia game. Brad, do you have a game for me to play?
Yes, I do. It's called Trivia for Fred with an exclamation point after trivia, like Panic at the Disco. All right. So this is how the game works for people who are just tuning in, and if this is your first episode, I'm so sorry. Uh, I give Fred, who has only read a handful of comics that I have handed him, questions about the comics. The answer is a character that is represented in the game of MCP. So he has heard me talk about comics. He's read very few, and he has to guess who this character is. If he gets it right with the first clue, he gets 3 points. If he gets it right with the hint I give him, he gets 2 points. Or he can turn it over to Steven to get him 1 point. Fred needs, let's go with 5 points this week to win.
That's worrying. Does that mean it's harder than usual?
No, that just means you're usually bad at this game, Fred.
Okay.
It's been 5 before.
I know, and I've lost. And last week it was 6, and I won.
Okay, if you say so. I don't remember what happened last week. I remember 2 weeks ago when Brandon stole all your points. Okay.
Well, last week was when you gave me a hint, and it was on Man Thing's card.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I should have really looked at that card. Was last week also when you didn't know the most iconic thing to ever happen in
Yes.
Peter Parker's life?
Yes.
Okay, just
Yes,
checking in.
that was bad.
This character was rescued from a lab experimenting on them by Squirrel Girl. Rescued by Squirrel Girl from the lab, not Squirrel Girl experimenting on them. This character then teams up with both Wolverines, Laura and Logan, for various adventures and is now part of the extended Wolverine family.
Is this honey badger? Wait, hold on. What's the honey badger's name? My guess is honey badger. Is this going to be a trick question where the answer is actually the pet honey badger that is honey badger's token? Honey badger is my guess, Brad.
Gabby Kenny Honey Badger is your guess.
Yeah.
Okay, that is incorrect. Your hint.
Boo.
Despite having no superpowers, although it was originally intended to make this character a mutant, this character gains the nickname Unstoppable after taking a bullet and surviving the battles of Fing Fang Foom.
So they have no superpowers at all, and they're in this game?
They are represented in the game of MCP. That is true.
And they are part of the extended Wolverine family.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No
Superpowers.
That family includes X-23, Wolverine, and Honey Badger, among other people that I'm not going to name because I'm not going to give you any more hints.
Okay. Crap. I'm just going to go with another Weapon X character and say, is this Maverick?
No. Although,
okay.
If I could even think of what Maverick's superpower is, I would tell you what. Oh, it's energy absorption or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I knew that he's like a guy with a gun. So he may not have a superpower.
He very rarely uses his superpower. Okay. Steven, do you know who this is?
I actually have no clue because you're in mutant territory, which is not one of my purviews. I'm gonna say Warlock, which I know is wrong. So
that is incorrect. This is Jonathan the Unstoppable, the actual Wolverine.
Okay. I would like to clarify that is who I was trying to find the name of when I was talking about Honey Badger's card. Daggone it. I knew this was what you were going to do. Point
of order, is that a character in the game?
I said that they are represented in the game. I was very careful about the words I used.
Darn it. Everyone out there, go back and listen to me talking about it, and I'm clearly talking about her token.
I know you were, Fred, and I was rooting for you to get that right.
I didn't get there.
He is not a Honey Badger, though. He is a Wolverine.
Okay, well, whoops.
But I knew who you were talking about. So that's 0 points so far, Fred. Let's see if you do better on the other two. This character has bonded with the same symbiote on 2 occasions. On the second occasion, this character and other heroes, including Hawkeye, that's Kate Bishop, not Hawkeye, who's Clint Barton, Gwenpool, and America Chavez, save Coney Island from the zombiotes, which are dead bodies that have been infested with symbiotes.
Bonded with the same symbiote twice.
Yes.
Is this Gwenom?
No. Your hint.
Oh, gosh.
This character was created by MODOK and served as Deadpool's sidekick while Deadpool was king of the monsters. This character also scared everyone at a pool party once, but corrected the situation by getting a dolphin costume.
Scared everyone at a pool party. I think that I've heard the other side of this pool party thing. That there was like a pool party of the New Mutants, and they all got scared by something arriving. Is this Warlock?
That is incorrect. That was
oh my gosh.
That was a slumber party.
Oh.
That Warlock showed up at. But I like the thinking, Fred. You were so like that. That made a lot of sense. Steven, do you know who this is?
No, I don't. Got me on this one. So
okay.
I'll just say Venom just out of habit, but there you go.
That is incorrect. So this is Jeff the baby land shark.
Okay, I think I know what these have in common. But okay. All right, Brad.
Okay.
All right, Brad.
Your last comics character who is represented in Marvel Crisis Protocol is, after this character's predecessor was killed by Leatherboy, this character helped defeat MODOK by disabling his Doomsday Chair and Thanos by disarming him.
Is this Tippy Tup the squirrel?
Do you want to maybe bring up that card so you can get this character's name right?
Oh, daggone it. I don't. I'm not gonna. Hold on. It's gonna take me a little while to get this up. But hold on. Sorry. Uh, I don't mean to be taking this much time, but I don't have Squirrel Girl's card pulled up yet. Is this Tippy Toe?
That is correct, Fred. It is Tippy Toe.
Okay.
Tippy Toe
Okay.
also, once when this character's partner was otherwise occupied, this character, Tippy Toe, teamed up with Rocket Raccoon to save Central Park from the Plantmen. This character also once had a portion of the power cosmic after being abducted by the Churchuk alien race and tricked into revealing how to defeat Galactus. So he was once Silver Surfer.
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
that
Okay.
is
So he was
Tippy Toe.
a Silver Surfer squirrel.
Yes. The Churchuk alien race are a race. They're super intelligent, telepathic, green squirrels. Okay. So you've got 3 points so far, Fred. I will give you 2 points for this bonus question. What do these characters have in common?
Okay, so we have Jonathan the Unstoppable. We have the Land Shark, whose name I don't remember,
Jeff.
and Jeff the Land Shark, and we have Tippy Toe the Squirrel. Now, I believe that all three of these are companion animals to models that are in the game.
You know, I'll take that. They are represented by tokens, but that's close enough. That's also
Okay,
correct,
okay.
I guess.
It isn't also both Land Shark, the Jeff the Land Shark, and Tippy Toe are on the model, but I don't think that Jonathan the Unstoppable is, because that's what I was going to
Yeah,
get. They were like
he's on the card.
modeled, right? I see that we are playing with the rules of this game.
I would like
Picking
to
a bunch of
thank
tokens.
X the Third, who suggested that Jeff and Jonathan be characters on trivia. Just want to say, Fred, this was not my idea. I did love it when it was suggested.
It is a great idea. It is a great idea.
It took you 2 of them to realize what the gag was, but you got there. You got there.
I got there.
So
So hold on. Before we move on, Jeff the Land Shark took a symbiote twice.
yeah, the same symbiote. And the first time it was like a big deal. The second time they got along really well and they ate a bunch of food at Coney Island, and then the zombiote showed up and he teamed up with the other heroes and they beat the zombiotes so symbiotes are weak to sound. If you've watched the old cartoon or the movies, the movies it's not as clear as the TV show, but they're weak to sound. So they defeat all the zombiotes by playing Baby Shark really loud over the speakers.
Oh my god. Which symbiote did he take?
It's just a random one. It's as
just
far
a
as I
random one.
know,
Okay.
it's only bonded with him. And then after they defeat the zombiotes, the symbiote like detaches from them. They high five and they go their separate way. It's a really good issue. It's a really good issue.
Oh god. Okay. Well, thank you, Brad, and thank you, X the Third, for this great idea to torture me. Okay. Well, let's move on to the person that we are here to talk about today. That person being Nova, who I now have to scroll back to since I moved away from him. Nova, otherwise known as Richard Ryder. His defenses are 4.
Fred.
Oh,
He goes by
Yes?
Dick.
I'm not gonna say it.
He actually doesn't go by Dick. But I wanted you to say Dick Ryder. Oh,
I'm not gonna say
shit,
it.
I said it.
I got there before I said it. All right, his defenses are 4, 4, and 4. He has 7 health on both sides of his card. He is a threat value of 5. He is a size 2, and he is a long mover. Hey, Brad, why don't you do his attack suite?
Okay. First attack is Energy Nova Burst. Range 2, 5 dice, cost 0. Gain 1 power. Wild Throw. After the attack is resolved, size 4 or less, away short. His next energy attack is Gravimetric Cannon. Range 4, 6 dice, cost 0. Also gain 1 power. Push. If this attack deals damage after the attack is resolved, push the target character away short. And Wild Block. Judgment. After the attack is resolved, they gain the Judgment special condition. His final attack is Energy Lightspeed Lance. Beam 5, 7 dice, cost 5. After all attacks generated by this attack are resolved, place this character within range 1 of the last character targeted by this attack. Wild Push. After each attack is resolved, this character pushes the target character away short.
Okay, Steven, why don't you read the rest of the card?
Okay. We have an active superpower, faster than light. It will cost you 2 power. It is an action. This character makes an attack action. After the attack is resolved, place this character within 2 of itself. This superpower can only be used once per turn. And a reactive superpower, Xandarian World Mind. It has a power cost of X. When this character or an allied character within 3 makes a defense or dodge roll during the modified dice step, this character may spend up to 3 power to use the superpower. For each power spent, the character or the allied character may reroll one of its defense or dodge dice. This superpower can be used only once per turn. We have an innate Nova Force. After this character makes a move action, during its activation, after the effect is resolved, it gains 2 power and may remove all special conditions from itself. Add 3 dice to the next attack roll made as part of a Nova Burst or Lightspeed Lance attack made by this character, this activation. This character can be affected by the superpower only once per turn. And also he has the innate abilities of Flight and immunity to Incinerate.
Okay, so this guy's bananas. This guy's nuts. Like, he is also likely going to be in the Guardians of the Galaxy
He
affiliation.
is. So one of our great listeners out there, and I'm sorry, I don't know. I didn't write down what name it was. Reminded me that timelines exist, and we do know some of their affiliations at least, and he is Guardians.
Okay. Yeah. So this guy is insanely good, right? Like, he is a 5 threat model, and looking at him, he feels like he should be a 6 threat model. He has a 6 dice range 4 gainer that also can give out judgment if you roll a wild and a shield. It automatically pushes it pushes if it deals damage. And that push is not size restricted. So if you do damage on 6 dice with an energy attack, you will be pushing this model. This is probably his worst attack, which is because he has a range 2 5 dice attack that on a wild he can throw a size 4 model away short. And then the most insane thing is he has a beam 5 7 dice attack that does a wild push and places him after the last attack is made. And then when he moves, he gets 2 power and rolls 2 additional dice on the next attack roll made.
3.
3.
Oh, 3 additional. I'm sorry.
And
3 additional dice.
And he can't do that to that attack, the middle attack.
The middle attack,
yeah.
right.
That's really what makes it worse than the other ones, is you can't do it to that one.
Correct. Like that one. If you could, it would be the only one you would do the 5 dice one too, or the beam 5 one as well.
Yeah.
But that
on
like
the beam 5, it only does it for the first attack. Also,
Yes. Yeah.
That's correct. That's correct. It's only so you have to so you know who you are trying to take out with that beam. So you do them first.
Yes.
And then the last attack that you make is where you're going to end up placing yourself.
Yep.
I think he's crazy good. I think this is I think it's dangerously good. Like maybe this is when we were talking about Man-Thing being a sign of power creep, Nova is a sign of power creep in this game. This is a 5 threat model.
He is probably the best 5 threat in the game now.
That includes Dracula.
That includes Dracula.
Yeah, I think he's a problem. I don't know how this made it through. Like he's so good. He's so good.
It's
all right. What do you guys
crazy.
think about this guy? What do you think about this, Brad?
It's so I can tell where they had broken version of this and they fixed it. So the faster than light may have used to be hit and run, but that's way too good on him because then he moves long and then he'll get the 2 energy and the 3 dice on his next attack. Maybe Nova Force used to just say move, not move action. And they realized that was too broken. Even with those things in place, he has a crazy amount of displacement. He has good attacks. Like 5 dice on a gainer on a 5-point model's not good, but everything else about what's going on there is good. Like,
and that's probably 8 dice, not 5 dice.
It is often 8 dice. That means he's only making 1 attack. But like
That's true.
He is so mobile. Like we don't know what size base he's on. I guess I could bring up the picture and try to guess, but if he's not on a standard base,
a small base,
I don't know. Long move's good.
Okay.
Getting the Shuri reroll thing, but he can do it on himself is amazing.
Uh-huh. He's a defense buff for everyone within range 3.
Yeah. And it's on dodge too. And he has flight, so you can't slow him down. The 4 defense and everything, and you're like, oh yeah, well I'll just incinerate him, then I can get through. No, he's immune to incinerate.
And he just gets rid of any condition you give to him. He gets rid of it when he moves.
Yeah, he just has to move. I wish Juggernaut could do that. He can only get rid of stagger.
Well, no, I mean, that is the one condition that I don't think this guy.
Yeah, this guy can't get rid of stagger. You're right.
Because his first action has to be shake stagger, right? He can't take a move action.
Yeah, you're right. The extra 2 energy is great because otherwise he doesn't get any. He's gonna probably make a move every turn, every action, and it's good that he has to move to like really make his kit work, so he can't like make his awesome attacks multiple times. But sometimes he will just make 2 attacks and be really good still. And as Borka pointed out, in Guardians of the Galaxy, if you finally daze him, well, they'll just make him a big dumb hero, and now he's 5's defense on everything.
Right.
It's
Steven, what are your thoughts here on this guy?
I'm the opposite. I don't like him.
You don't like him? Okay, talk me through your thought process.
He looks a lot like Captain Marvel, the new one.
Who
never gets played. Who never gets played.
I don't know what Avengers players you're playing against because
Borka plays her all the time, and she does so much work when he plays her.
I don't like his power economy. It is very, very poor, in my opinion. This guy not only is susceptible to staggers, as you said, but anybody who has sap power or suppression will shut him down pretty hard.
I guess you're right. He could be sap powered or suppressioned. That's not a whole lot of people, and his
And
power
that's
economy his power economy is different than normal. Like he can guarantee or almost guarantee firing off that beam 5 on round 2. Because he
My
can move round 1 and then he can move round 2 and
my
he will
my
have 6 power.
my counter for him is people like Rogue would eat his lunch. I'm sorry. So
Rogue
I
is you I
I
mean you're
think he
probably
kills
correct.
Rogue.
that mutant absorption is going to devastate him. So I mean, if if he goes against normal teams, he'll be fine. If he goes against teams that are very much into power denial, he will not be fine. Root, he hates root.
He gets rid of it when he moves.
Right, but
I mean,
he's wasted an action moving, and that's fine. That's
yeah,
that's
he
that's
usually just moves anyway.
Yeah, I
so
don't think that's
he's a move make one attack, kind of like Juggernaut,
He's a lot like Juggernaut in that regard. He is a move make one attack. That is usually what he likes to do.
which is fine for the first round. But if it's going on, I'm not as high on him as you guys are. I can see uses for him, but I don't. It remains to be seen, but I don't like what I'm looking at for power economy. That's all.
Okay. All right. Well, there is a tactics card that is for this guy that we should talk about as well. Bear with me for just a minute while I pull that up. I believe it is called Call for Backup. That is what it is called. It is Call for Backup. It is an unaffiliated active tactics card. During his activation, Nova may spend 3 power to play this card. Choose one of the following. Move along, citizen. Choose a secure objective token within range 2 of this character. Push each enemy character contesting that objective short. And the other effect is stop in the name of the law. Each enemy character that is holding an extract objective token gains the slow special condition. All right, what do you guys think about this effect? I think that this is pretty good. In Guardians, who are swimming in good cards, I don't know if this. I'm not certain this is like an auto include. I think it's pretty solid, but Guardians have great cards, like really good cards. So I don't know if this card makes the 5. What do you think about this, Steven? What are your thoughts looking at this?
I think there's very few team up cards that are worth putting in your 10 for a tournament. Like you have to have a plan for them. I mean, like fastball special, I that's a good one to me. Obviously, Brothers in Arms since it got restricted. Well laid plans, but I don't see this card standing out like those cards. You know what I mean?
What do you
So
mean a team up card? Like this one is just Nova, right?
it is.
oh, I thought this was the Nova Gamora one. I'm so sorry. I was
No.
reading the wrong
No,
one.
this is just Nova.
Okay, let me read it again. Sorry.
What are your thoughts on this one, Brad? While he's going through it again.
I think that you're gonna see Nova with this card in affiliations like Hellfire Club. And it's gonna be really great in Hellfire Club and places like that. I think the first ability is worth playing the card for. It's just
The push away.
yeah. It just really depends on what your other cards are. Like you said, like Guardians have a bunch of really good ones. It's hard to play it there, but if you're splashing them somewhere, maybe it's really easy to play. I think it's a great card on a great model. So
Yeah, but the problem is just exactly like it's in an affiliation that has a bunch of great cards.
Yeah.
Like there's the card with Rocket and Groot where he makes 3 attacks, and the card with Groot that he heals everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, and those aren't even like they have big dumb heroes. God, Guardians have so many great cards.
But this is a good card to play
Okay.
elsewhere.
Yeah.
No, I stand corrected. It's a good scenario card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
I
so
was
you
thinking
brought up
of
there is
Veterans
another
of
card.
Annihilation Ward. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to read that one?
Sure. Unaffiliated reactive. During the power phase, an ally Gamora and an ally Richard Rider may play this card. This round, Gamora gains the following superpower. It's innate, and it is the World Mine uplink. When this character is defending against an attack or making a dodge roll, it may reroll up to 2 of its defense or dodge dice. And this round, Richard Rider gains the following superpower. Innate, Star Cross Strike. When this character makes an attack, if there are 1 or more wild results in the attack roll, it may change 1 die result to a hit.
And to your point, like the team up ones, you really have to think through, and this one is not like a blow you away effect.
Right, exactly.
It does not. Oh,
this
sorry,
is
go
casual
ahead.
night. This is a casual night card.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fun night card.
If you happen to be splashing both of them in another list that isn't Guardians, because you really like those characters, maybe you play it. I don't know. It doesn't get played in Guardians, that's for sure.
No. It does not. So, do they gain these for the rest of the game? I think they do. Okay.
And they can just play it the first turn.
Yeah, they can just do it. So that's nice. And this is not.
No. It's not the rest of the game. It says this round.
Oh, it does say this round. Oh, it's so bad.
You're
it's
right.
so bad.
It's real bad. It's real bad. You're correct. This is even worse than I thought. Yeah, this is one you don't ever play. Not in a competitive game. Okay, so we are not in full agreement here on this character, but we've got to give him a letter grade. I think that this character rules. I think he's going to be a problem, especially with the Guardians having so many rerolls already with the winging it tokens. This character is going to be very effective on the battlefield. Just think about when he has a big dumb heroes token on him. He's going to kill everything. I think that this character is a solid A. Solid A. And someone could talk me up into an A+ if they wanted to, but I'm going to stick with an A for now. Brad, what are your thoughts here?
Fred, you're stupid. This is an S character.
Yeah. That's yeah, okay. Steven, what are your thoughts here on this character?
A B.
Okay, so we're we're all over the place here.
By the way, best character in the game at 5 points? No. I mean, you've got the new Loki, who is fantastically better than this card.
Nova's better.
I think this guy's great, Steven. Like, I think this guy is fantastic.
I mean, the proof's going to come out like when he gets into the circulation and he gets into tournaments and we see results. So,
yeah, you're right. We will see in the future. Okay, so that is our take on Nova. Brad, do you have any comic book recommendations that feature this gentleman?
I do. I have actually kind of a weird recommendation today, because instead of like giving some stuff throughout his history, I am going to recommend one very long story that features him, and this is, I think, the best Nova story ever. and it's also seems to be the version of the character that they based the model on, like the suit and the powers and all that. Uh, and it's really good. So it starts with the series Annihilation Nova. This is by Dan Abnett. Yes, Fred, that Dan Abnett
Hey.
again. And Andy Lanning with art by Kev Walker. And this is the start of the tale. It continues into Annihilation. This is Keith Giffen and Andrea Di Vito, this is a really good crossover. Nova plays a big role in the crossover. This also introduces the Guardians of the Galaxy that everyone knows now. So this is their first appearance. Then it continues into the Nova series from 2007. I wish I had written down how many issues it was. Written by Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning with art by Sean Chen. And this is the bulk of this story arc that he is on. And the series has his parts of the Annihilation Conquest and Realms of King events. So he interacts with those, but he's not like in those main series very much. He's doing his own thing in his own series. And then this ends this big epic that Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning were writing in Thanos Imperative. This has Miguel Sepulveda art. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. So this is the big conclusion to this huge cosmic arc that Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning were working on. Obviously, Thanos is involved, and Nova, Richard Rider, plays a big part in this throughout this whole thing and in the conclusion. After this, he joins the Guardians for a bit, and then he just kind of disappears, and they introduce a new, younger Nova. But that
Weird.
that like 10-year span, I think it was 10 years of cosmic adventures with Nova and the Guardians of the Galaxy and the other stuff. I have read it. It is so good. And I after like doing this episode, I really want to go back and read it again.
So, did you say that this guy predates what we think of as the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah. And through most of that run that I talked about, like he like meets the Guardians and stuff, but he doesn't join them until I think right after the event, the final event that I talked about is when he joins the Guardians.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
He's
Fred, okay, sorry.
Nova before recently is best known as a member of the New Warriors, which was a street level team of teenagers in the 90s. So he's like from a lot further back than Rocket and Groot and Star-Lord teaming up in the 2000s. What were you going to say, Steven?
Weird. Does Fred recognize the name Dan Abnett from anywhere other than Marvel?
He does.
Yeah, that's the guy who wrote a lot of stuff in the Warhammer. Oh gosh, what do they call it? Is it the Black Archive or something?
Black Library.
Black Library. Yeah.
I was just wondering if you
I
were
read
aware.
a bunch of his books, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's very good.
He has come up on the show before, Steven, and so I knew Fred knew who he was.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Dan Abnett's work.
So you might read this one?
Brad, will I be reading this one?
I wish I had a physical copy of it. I might look into getting physical copies of that stuff because it is some of my favorite comics.
Okay. That's high praise. That's high praise. So, what is this guy a human?
Yeah, he's from New Jersey, I think, or something like that.
So, did he just go to space?
No, I don't. I don't know exactly
Is
how the origin worked.
isn't it more like a Green Lantern origin where it's an alien that comes to Earth and he has the helmet
The,
and he gives
there
it to a kid?
there are lots of Green Lantern overlaps. So the Nova Corps are intergalactic police, and the power is in the helmet. So you put the helmet on, and it gives you a Nova suit, and you patrol and stuff. I don't know how he gets the helmet. It could be that an alien comes to Earth and gives it to him. I know for a
Yeah, okay.
long time he doesn't leave Earth.
Because he doesn't know that he's part of a larger organization.
Yeah. Which makes me think that an alien didn't give it to him, but I don't know.
How else would he get the helmet, though?
I don't know. I can look it up if you guys move on to the next thing.
Okay. All right. Steven, I'm gonna throw you on the. Do you have any thoughts about where Nova would fit? That's he is not affiliated with.
Um, I I harp on the energy economy, so I think you would have to put him in places where he would get extra energy from doing attacks or have a leadership ability that would allow him to gain more energy. And so I'm looking at like Inhumans or A Force or even
Red Skull 1.
Magneto.
Oh, Magneto. Okay. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. He would get power there.
So um, just I think that's where he probably needs to be experimented with first. Of course, in his own affiliations, but as an outside splash to make it easier, I think, or even Hellfire Club. I mean, as a big five to do something.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah. Okay. Well, that's I agree that having a place to give him even more power is going to be somewhere he wants to be. Okay.
I have an
Brad,
answer.
am I supposed to throw this over to you?
I have
Okay.
an
How did he get
answer.
his helmet?
When the last surviving member of the dying planet Xandar's elite Nova Corps, Roman Day, is dying, he selects New York high school student Richard Ryder to replace him. Ryder is given the uniform and powers of a Nova Centurion, but little instruction on how to use them. Calling himself Nova, Ryder becomes a superhero.
So he just picks a kid,
Yeah.
a high
And
school
he's
kid.
apparently the last surviving member of the Nova Corps when he does this.
What a dumb. Okay. All right. Hmm. All right then. Well, that's how he gets his power.
Yep.
Uh, I guess the only thing that remains in this
Oh wait,
episode is mine
wait,
on.
wait,
Oh,
wait, wait, wait. There, I said
waiting.
that there's other Novas, right? And that there's a new Kid Nova. Recently, they introduced the Nova of 2099. So 2099 is one of their alternate futures. Fred, do you have any clue who the Nova of 2099 is? I'll give you a hint.
Take.
It is a
What's the hint?
it's a character you are very familiar with that is in MCP.
Is it Miles Morales?
No, he is Deathlock in 2099.
Okay.
He is a robot
Well,
assassin.
I'm not gonna get this.
You're
I could
not,
say any.
because it's Logan the Wolverine.
Oh my god. Okay.
Because of course it is. All right.
Of course it is.
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
All right, so my non sequitur recommendation this week. I don't know anything about this character. I don't know if they've ever been portrayed in a movie or anything that I've consumed. So I'm just going to talk about a game that I've played recently that I very much enjoy, and that is it is a logic game called Rise of the Golden Idol. This is a follow up to Curse of the Golden Idol, which came out a couple years ago. And I am a sucker for these logic games. They give you a scenario, usually a scenario where someone dies or has recently died, and you have to figure out exactly what happened. And you find that out just through making logical deductions based upon what people around them are saying and what people have in their pockets. And this tells a story that is a follow-up to the Golden Idol in the previous iteration, Curse of the Golden Idol. And it takes it in places that I definitely did not see coming. It is a great, great logic deduction game. If you are into them, play this game. Brad, I swear, I think you would love this. I think you would love these games.
I played a Professor Layton game once, which is not the same because it's just puzzles, but you get clues from the puzzles and are trying to solve a mystery. And I really like the little puzzle game. I don't know.
Try it out, Brad. Every character is like a pixel art grotesque human. It's real. It has a very interesting art style, and I think you should try these games. I think they are definitely worth playing, and I very much enjoy them. That is it for our show today. Thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Brad, for joining me to talk about Nova. Thank you to Dawn and to Cody and to Stephen for driving down and participating in our tournament. And thank you, everyone out there who's listening, for listening to us talk. I hope that everyone has a wonderful Christmas break and a wonderful New Year following. Goodbye, everybody.